Hello viewers, welcome again to today's lesson. This is the Solution Space, the platform where mathematics is made easy and simple for everyone to understand and enjoy. In this video, I want us to continue with the SURD that I started with you in the previous videos. In the previous videos, we started learning about SURD where we handle simplification of SURD. We did a detailed explanation on it and we solved many examples on it as well. And we moved on to addition and subtraction of SURD, and we've done a detailed explanation on that as well, and we've solved many examples on it too in the previous videos. And I hope you all understood it and you enjoyed the lesson as well. So in this video, I want us to continue and handle another subtopic under the SURD, and that is multiplication of SURD. As you can see from the board, I've written multiplication of SURD, and that is what I want to teach you in this video. And I will advise that you do well to watch all the previous videos that I've done on the SURD, okay, because the previous videos lays the foundation, the basic knowledge and understanding that you need. I've done all those explanations in the previous videos, okay, so do well to watch all the videos that I've done on the SURD, okay, so that you'll get a good foundation to be able to handle this session as well, because we are going to apply the knowledge that we've gotten in the previous videos here, okay. So without your knowledge on the things that you've done in the previous videos, you might struggle handling this session, okay. So do well to watch all the previous videos that I've done on the SURD so that you can easily handle this session as well. And please don't forget to like the videos and also share them after watching them. Let's go ahead and handle today's lesson on the multiplication of SURD. I have example 1 on the board, okay, which I want to solve with you, but before that I'm going to do an explanation on the multiplication of SURD, okay, so that you get the foundation and understanding. Then we'll proceed and solve the example that I have on the board, okay. So now when it comes to the multiplication of SURD, we have different types of multiplication that you can get under the multiplication of SURD, okay. So let me repeat it one more time. I say when it comes to the multiplication of SURD, we have different types of multiplication that you can get under the multiplication of SURD, okay. So the examples that I have here represent the different types of multiplications that you can get under the multiplication of SURD, okay. So we are going to take our time and pick them one by one, and I'm going to write a similar example to each of them, then I'll use it to explain it to you, okay, so that you get the understanding. Then we'll move on to solve the one that I have on the board, okay. So the example 1, it says simplify the following, okay. So the A, I have square root of 5 times square root of 7, okay. So now this is a type of multiplication under the multiplication of SURD, okay, where both values has square root sign in it, okay. So the A here, you can see that this one has square root sign in it, this one also has square root sign in it. So we have square root of 5 times square root of 7, okay. So now both of them have square root sign in it, but the values are different. This is 5, this is 7, okay. I hope you understand up to this point, okay. So both of them have square root sign in it, but the only thing here is that the values are different. This is 5 and this one is 7, okay. Now when we come to the B, okay, the B, it says square root of 3 times square root of 3, okay. This one also, both of them have the square root sign in it, but they have the same values, okay, which is 3 and here is also 3, okay. So this is square root of 3, this is also square root of 3, okay. So this also represents a different type of multiplication that you can get under the multiplication of SURD, okay. So where we have the first type where both values have square root in it, but the values are different in the case of this one, and this one we have where both of them have square root sign in it, but the values are the same, okay. So we are going to look at each of them, okay. Then the C, we have a situation where you have a value which does not have any square root sign in it, okay, multiplying the value which has square root sign in it, okay. So we have 2 times square root of 6, okay. So this also represents a type of multiplication under the multiplication of SURD, okay. So we are going to look at each of them. Let's start with the A, okay. So the A, I have square root of 5 times square root of 7, okay. Don't forget both of them have square root sign in it, but the values are different. Okay, so let me write an example which is similar to this one, then I'll use it to explain it to you. So let's say I have square root of 2 times square root of 3. Okay, so you can see that this one also, it's similar to this, okay, because both have square root sign in it, but the values are different. This is 2, this one is 3, and we have to simplify this one, or we have to multiply this one. Okay, so I have square root of 2 times square root of 3. Okay, so for you to simplify this one, okay, how you handle it is that you are going to bring both values under the same square root sign. Okay, so you write a square root sign like this, then the 2 times the 3, you bring it under one square root sign. That's how you simplify it. So it's going to be square root of 2 times 3. Okay, so that's how you handle it. I hope the explanation is clear enough up to this point. Okay, so now for us to simplify this one, all that you need to do is that you bring the values under one square root sign. Okay, so I have square root of 2 times square root of 3. Okay, both of them have square root sign, okay, and they are multiplying. So what you do is that you bring the values under one square root sign. So you write your square roots, then this 2 comes here times the 3 which you have here. That's how you handle it. Okay, now let's simplify further, because this we can simplify. Okay, so let's simplify further. Repeat your square root sign which you have here, then your 2 times 3, it gives 6. So you have square root of 6, and this becomes your final answer for simplifying the square root of 2 times square root of 3. Okay, you are going to get square root of 6. Okay, I hope the explanation is clear enough and you understand it. Okay, let me take another example on this, okay, to explain it to you before we solve the example A that I have on the board. Okay, so let me clean this one and let me take another example. So assuming I have, let's say, square root of 5, okay, times square root of 3. Okay, so this is another example. Okay, so you can see that both of them have square root sign in it. They are multiplying, but the values are different. Okay, so now we have to multiply this one. What we do to multiply this one is that we'll bring both values under one square root sign. Okay, so I'm going to write a square root for both of them, then the 5 here, I'll bring it under 8 times, then you bring the 3 which is also here. Okay, so you bring a square root sign, then you bring both values under 8, because both of them have square roots. To multiply, this is how you go about it. Okay, so both values come under one square root sign. Okay, so it's going to be square root of 5 times 3. Okay, and that is going to give you square root of 15. Okay, because 5 times 3 gives 15. And this is your final answer for simplifying the square root of 5 times square root of 3. Okay, I hope the explanation is clear enough up to this point. Okay, so now I'm going to clean this one, then we are going to solve the A that I have on the board, then we go and handle the B as well. Okay, so let me clean this from here, okay, and let's do the solution for the A. Okay, so let me write my solution. I hope you are following, so let's do it together. It's not difficult. Okay, so now I have square root of 5 times square root of 7. Okay, so to simplify this one, okay, it's going to be square root of 5 times 7. Okay, the 5 and the 7 comes under one square root sign. Okay, because both of them have square root sign and they are multiplying, so it's going to be square root of 5 times the 7. Okay, so that's how you go about it. Now let's go ahead and simplify further. So I'm going to get square root of 5 times 7 gives 35. So I'm going to get square root of 35, and this is my final answer for simplifying the square root of 5 times square root of 7. I hope the explanation is clear enough and you understood it. Okay, now let's handle the B as well. Okay, so now the B, we have square root of 3 times square root of 3. You can see that this one also, both values have square root sign in it, but the values are the same. Okay, so look, the values are the same. This is square root of 3, this is also square root of 3. We can use the same process. Okay, so we are going to follow the same process that we apply to this one. Okay, but there's another method that we can use to handle this one, and I'll show that one to you as well. Okay, so to solve this one, let me write my solution and let's do it together. Okay, so now my solution for this one is going to be the square root of 3 times square root of 3. Okay, now we are going to apply the same method that we applied to this one. So this one is going to be square root of 3 times 3. Okay, because both of them have a square root sign in it. So for us to simplify, okay, we bring them under one square root sign. So write a square root, your 3 here times the 3 which is here. And this one is going to give us square root of 3 times 3 is 9. And square root of 9 is 3. So your final answer is going to be 3. So for you to simplify the square root of 3 times square root of 3, this is the process to go through and you will get an answer to be 3. Okay, if you type it on the calculator will give you an answer which is 3. Okay, or you can choose to use another method. Okay, and I'm going to show you. Okay, so now let me do all. Now we have square root of 3 times square root of 3. Okay, so I'm showing you another method you can use to handle the same type of multiplication and you arrive at the same answer. Okay, now do you remember under the algebraic expression that when we have, let's say, s times s, okay, under the multiplication of algebraic expression, when we have s times s, our simplification is going to be s squared. Please hope you remember that. Okay, so we are going to apply the same knowledge to this one because they are the same and they are multiplying. We can apply this approach to it. Okay, so having s times s, we are getting s squared. So in the same way, having square root of 3 times square root of 3, the key thing is that they are the same. Okay, this has 3, this also has 3, they all have square root sign. Okay, so we can apply this process to it. So it's going to be square root of 3 all squared. Okay, because s times s gives s squared. So the same approach, if I'm to simplify this one using this approach, is going to be square root of 3 all squared. Okay, please hope you agree with me up to this point. Okay, because this is root 3 times root 3, so it's going to be square root of 3 all squared. Just like when we have s times 8 s, it gives the s squared, the same approach. So square root of 3 times square root of 3 is going to give us square root of 3 all squared. Okay, I hope the explanation is clear enough up to this point. Okay, so now what happens is that there's power 2 which is here. Okay, it will cancel the square root sign away. So this power 2 will cancel the square root sign which we have here. Then we are going to be left with 3. Okay, so which is the same answer here. Okay, so either you use this process or you use this process, we are going to get the same answer. Okay, please hope the explanation is clear enough. Okay, so now let me clean this one and let's handle the b as well. Okay, please don't get confused and go and say that. For example, I don't want you to get confused, so I want to explain something to you before we move on. For example, what if I have something like this? Let's say I have a square root of, let's say, 7 times square root of 2. Okay, and to simplify this one, does it mean you can go and write square root of 7 times 2 all squared? No, you cannot do that. Okay, I've explained this to you. Okay, so this you cannot do that because the values are different. Okay, this is 7, this is 2. You cannot apply that principle, it will not work. Okay, unless they are the same. Okay, if I'm to have, let's say, square root of 7 times square root of 7, then that one I can apply what I just taught you. So this one is going to be square root of 7 all squared. Okay, because the values are the same, both have square root sign, they are multiplying. Okay, so that this square root will cancel this square root sign, then I'll have 7 left. Okay, so this is your answer for simplifying square root of 7 times square root of 7. You get 7. Okay, or if you choose to do it the other way that I taught you using this same process, you get the same answer. Okay, which is, let me clean it and let's solve it again. Okay, so I can also use this approach, which is it's going to be square root of 7 times 7. Okay, because both of them have square root sign. Okay, to simplify it, they will come under the same square root sign. Then bring your 7 times 7, they are multiplying. Okay, so square root of 7 times 7, just as we did with this one. Okay, and that is going to give you square root of 7 times 7 is 49. Okay, and the square root of 49 gives 7, so equals to 7. So you will get the same answer. Okay, when you use this approach. I hope the explanation is clear enough and you understand what I'm teaching you. Okay, so I'm going to clean this one. Okay, then we'll handle the B as well. Okay, so sorry, the C. We've done the B already, which is square root of 3 times square root of 3. We've solved it and we've gotten the answer to be 3. Okay, and I've shown you another method that you can use. Okay, and I hope you understood it. Now let's handle the C as well. So I'm going to clean this one from here so that we'll have space to solve the C. Okay, so I have 2 times square root of 6. Okay, so this one you have a value which does not have square root sign in it, multiplying a value which has square root sign in it. Okay, so now this is how it's going to be, and we've already done this type in the previous videos. Okay, so I have 2 times root 6. Okay, now because this one does not have any square root sign attached to it, multiplying a value which has square root sign in it, how it's going to multiply is that it's going to multiply the coefficient. Okay, now the coefficient of this root 6 is 1. If there's no specified number there, the coefficient is 1. Okay, so these two multiply the coefficient. Okay, so it's going to be 2 times 1, which is 2, and 2 times root 6, it gives 2 root 6. Okay, so to multiply this one, our answer is going to be 2 root 6. Okay, I hope you understand it. Please don't go and make a mistake of writing square root of 12 as an answer. I know students, they make those mistakes a lot. You cannot do this because this has no square root sign in it, so you cannot do a multiplication like that. Okay, if maybe let's say the question was to be, let's say I want to clean this one and use another example to explain it to you. Okay, if let's say the question was to be, let's say a square root of 2, okay, square root of 2 times square root of 6, okay, then that one we can do it as square root of 2 times 6. Okay, why? Because both of them have square root sign in it and they are multiplying, so they come under the same square root sign. So square root of your 2 times the 6, and that will give you square root of 12, and this becomes your final answer. Okay, that's your final answer. I know you can break it down, okay, but I don't want you to get confused, but this is just an example to explain it to you. The square root of 12 we can simplify further, but let me leave it here for explanation's sake. Okay, now so when you have a situation where you have square root of 2 times square root of 6, okay, then you can go through this process, okay, in the case of this one. But when you have something like this, as this question is saying, which is 2 times square root of 6, you cannot go and do square root of 6 times 2 then write 12. You cannot do that. Okay, so for us to solve this one, the 2 times square root of 6, I said that because this one have no square root sign, how the multiplication is done is that it will multiply the coefficient. Okay, it will multiply the coefficient of the square root of 6, which is here. And since there's no specified number here, it means the coefficient is 1. Okay, so it's going to be 2 times the 1, which is 2, and the 2 times root 6 gives 2 root 6. That's how you conduct it. So this one is going to be 2 root 6, and this is your final answer for simplifying 2 times root 6. Okay, so please, I hope the explanation is clear enough, and I'll come your way again in another video whilst we solve more examples on it. Please don't forget to like the video and also share them. Bye bye.